Welcome to the 2014 Asian Conference on Language Learning with the Asian Conference on Technology in the Classroom here in Osaka, Japan. My name is Joseph Haldane and I'm the Executive Director of IAFOR, the organising body behind these conferences. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by Professor John Hope, who is Associate Dean for International Relations at the University of Auckland, New Zealand. Dr. Hope, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm enjoying Osaka very much.
Have you been to Osaka before?
Yes, I have. I've been here several times.
And is that a part of your job?
It's part of my job, yes. My job's international travel a lot of the time. So I do come to Japan. I've been here, I don't know, maybe 10 times, I suppose, over the last 4 or 5 years.
And what exactly does it mean then to be Associate Dean for International Relations for a large research university like the University of Auckland?
It means anything to do with international. So, for example, obviously setting up research links. I've been setting up some research links prior to this conference with some of our medical people, over here, looking at some paediatric and cancer research. But it also involves care of international students, encouraging them to become more international, setting up programs for them to be more international. And I direct overseas programs where we teach our degrees overseas. For example, in Malaysia we educate a large number of Malaysian teachers of English. So I direct those programs and set up the performance, make sure that the quality assurance is okay, things like that.
Professor Hope, how long have you been in the post?
I've been doing international work for more than 10 years. Prior to that, I was in the university as Director of Primary Teacher Education, and prior to that in schools. And
perhaps you can tell us a bit about the changes you've seen over the past 10 years.
Yes, massive change, particularly for a small country at the other side of the world that was not really international. And I came in when the university decided to internationalise, and I was asked to help establish that in the university. And I've seen massive growth and massive benefits for our students as well as those students who we interact with from other countries. And I'm passionate about this. I think that the future of the world depends a lot on internationalisation. I have perhaps a misplaced sense of well-being when I look at some of the political things that are happening in the world. But when I go around educational institutions around the world, I see a lot of young people who have a different view of what should be happening in the world, and the way to change that is through internationalisation. Being old, having grandchildren, has made me think that I want something better for my grandchildren, and I think the way to do that is to have teachers who then teach thousands of kids that those people over there are a little bit different, but they're the same, and that we've got a lot in common, and we can actually work together. Those sort of missionary kind of things are the things that will change the world, where maybe politicians will not.
One of the great things about venues such as this and this particular conference is we're lucky enough to have people from over 40 countries.
Yes.
And in your keynote you alluded to how New Zealand is trying to encourage a number of people engaged in
yes.
International study
yes.
To come to New Zealand, and
yes, and vice versa.
And vice versa. And can you just elaborate a little on that, on what
Sure.
the wider aims are for both New Zealand and
yes.
reciprocally for those people coming?
Our university has an official policy that we want more students to go abroad. And if you look at OECD trends, there is a prediction that if the current trend continues, something like 80% of students in developed countries will do part of their education abroad by 2025. So it's a rapidly developing trend which I think is to be encouraged. Our university wants to do that, as well as have people come to New Zealand and have a New Zealand experience. My personal feeling is that it's most important for teachers. I think every teacher should have an international experience in a country quite different from their own, different food, different language, and I think that would make them a better teacher, and obviously they pass that on to their students. So I feel very strongly about that for the reasons I gave earlier.
Well, I hope you've been enjoying your conference experience here.
You said 40, more than 40 countries. I've really enjoyed that. I've just listened to a person from Afghanistan this morning. I've just been talking to someone from India. You know, it's like that. And I think that those kind of links that can be established, I've got a fistful of cards, people wanting to further communicate, copies of the presentation, things like that. That's how the world changes. And I would like to thank your organisation for facilitating that and making it so truly international. Some conferences are very national or very Western or very Asian. This is truly international. And I think you should be encouraged to continue in that mode, because that's where we need to have people talking to each other.
That's great. Well, Professor, we appreciate your kind words and support, and hope that we'll see you again at a conference in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for those of you watching, I hope that you will also similarly be able to join us in Osaka, in Brighton, or in Providence in the USA. Thanks for watching.